we're putting into effect.
What local law? Oh, God.
There's two of us.
Right.
Right. Okay, we'll call the November 29th, 2022 Village Board meeting to order. This is meeting number 17. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance by Trustee Kasevich.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You just remain standing, please. As we gather here today, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community. Let us continue to strive to make a better world. We are thankful for this day that you have given us, for its blessings, its opportunities, and its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray for strength and guidance for each day as it comes, for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give our best always, and may we be assured of your presence with us. Amen.
Amen.
Notification of fire exits by Deputy Mayor Hammond.
The emergency exit is located to my left and to the rear of the room. In the event of an alarm or emergency, please move in an orderly fashion to the exit and evacuate the building.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Adolph.
Here?
Trustee Ziemba.
Here.
Trustee Kasevich.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Hamernick.
Here.
Mayor Peterson.
Here. First item tonight is approve the village board meeting minutes from November 14th, 2022.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. To approve the village board meeting minutes for November 14th, 2022.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So tonight's a rather light agenda. Whoa. Whoa! It's Santa. We have an unexpected visitor.
Merry Christmas.
Santa.
Great.
We're married.
A little bit.
That's okay, Santa. I'm glad you stayed an extra day from last night. So,
Pretty good.
glad you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it very well.
Great.
Did you bring
A
me?
lot of people.
Yep.
Did you bring me a present?
What is today's date? You gotta wait your turn.
Santa,
Yeah.
I know you said an awful lot to me last night and recently. This is your 50th year, correct?
Yes.
Would you like to take the podium and just share a little bit about those 50 years?
Uh-oh. Wow. Whew. I know you can all hear me. I don't need no microphone. This has been the greatest part of my life, portraying Santa Claus. I started when I was 15 years old. I did my church, St. John's Lutheran Church in Depew. And then during the school years, I did the Snowflake Swirl at Depew School. And then from there, I did stores that don't even exist no more. Then I did the malls, all the malls in Western New York. Tons of houses, tons of them. But my biggest thing, and I'm going to miss it very much, is the Buffalo Airport. I got to welcome home our greatest guys ever, United States servicemen. Thank you for your service. It's been an honor. I'm going to miss that the most. Miss all the people, of course, but being at the airport, I brought the D2 chorus up, Lancaster chorus. We sang, they sang for 2 hours. When we saw the serviceman come up, coming off the plane, I told the parents, I said, stay right here. I told the chorus, get ready. Once the servicemen came to the door, I welcomed them home. Thank you, Merry Christmas, and welcome home. And the chorus sang the national anthem. And when they came home from Iraq and Afghanistan, there wasn't a dry eye in the airport. And then I also, back in 2005, welcomed 2 planes home from the war at the Niagara Falls Air Base. And that was awesome. So it's been my honor, my pleasure. I don't know what more to say. It's for all the village. I've been around for a long time, and I did a lot for the village, but it's time to step down. It's been a great ride, like I've been telling everybody. So this is my way to say thank you to everybody. So, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee, you want to come up?
What you got?
Well,
No. I have to, sorry.
come on up.
All right, we're coming. I'm just already on the knot.
I'm on the list already.
Thank you for the gift.
Wait till you get to be my age.
Wait to get to my age.
I just was sharing that I read an article today of another township, another state, that talked about Santa coming on a helicopter. And up until 2 years ago, he used to arrive by a paraglider. So, I don't think he ever did that.
No,
Well, Jeffrey, this is a certificate of recognition to Jeffrey Schuler. Village of Depew would like to recognize Depew resident Jeffrey Schuler
well,
for his efforts during the past 50 years portraying Santa Claus throughout Western New York. Seeing that 2022 is your final year before giving up the sleigh rides and trips down chimneys, the Village of Depew wants to thank you for all the good cheer and memories that you've given the residents of the village.
I know you can't see it, but there's tears in my eyes. I'm telling you. Like I said, thank you. Thank you. Last night was the greatest, I'll tell you. If you weren't there, you missed it. But I gotta admit, before we started out of that airport, Santa had a lot of heart problems for a second. I didn't think we were gonna leave. My heart started acting up, and I'm like, whoa, we gotta slow this down. I was waiting for my pacemaker to kick in, and it didn't, thank God. We got over there, and I kept it good today, honestly did. And I got a ride home from next work. And we talked last night, he goes, how you gonna be tonight? I said, I don't know. I really don't know. But I just wanna say thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you.
Yours is
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
And
Merry
everybody
Christmas.
know what Santa's favorite dessert is?
Regina wants to close.
Merry Christmas!
Kevin, Regina wants you down here.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, come on up here.
Beautiful.
So once again, thank you. From me to you, this is my way to say thank you. I'm gonna cherish this. I was honored at the school for the Wall of Fame at Depew High School. It's just my way to say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be safe, Santa.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a public comment on agenda items. Thank Nate. Thank you very much.
No tough questions for me tonight, guys.
Where were you?
We'll entertain any comment or questions on the agenda items only until we get to the general public concerns and comments later on in the meeting. So first up today, we approve a culvert repair at Morano Drive. This is something that the village has been working on for a couple of years. We were turned down for grant money 2 years ago. And then this year, we were able to secure the grant for it. I believe it was like $560,000 or
Yes.
something like that. Next up, we had done a public hearing, the last meeting, for senior, to adjust the senior tax exemptions and the disability tax exemption, which then gets to both towns and adjusted on your town bill.
Can I add
Sure, go
to
ahead.
that, Mayor? We will have reminders to hand out at each board at each board meeting, and the residents have to apply at their prospective town for these new exemptions, and you have to do so by March 1st. So please don't forget to do that if you qualify.
And takes effect the next year.
It will take effect for the village in 2024. Hopefully, being that New York State goes ahead and approves these local laws. Once they're approved, then the counties will act on it, and you'll notice that on your tax bills in 2024. Thank you.
So that's adopt local law number 3 for seniors, and we kept the number the same. We took the higher of the two between Cheektowaga and Lancaster.
By 1 cent.
We didn't mess with the 1 cent, yeah. So we took the higher of the, make it consistent. And next up is permission from the Depew Fire Department for some Christmas parties and a Santa detail from the West End. And we're also bringing in a new member to Aetna Hose Company. And then more, 2 new junior firefighters. And adopt the forestry management plan. Trustee Adolph, this has been your project. If you want to take a minute there and just explain what we're doing with that.
Yeah, so as we saw a few weeks ago, Davey came and presented the forestry management plan in front of us. There's a written portion of it as well. It was just the overall PowerPoint was kind of summarizing. The written portion is 60-plus pages, and it has a lot of detailing of maintenance as well as planting and what varieties to plant for the village. And so at this point, going back and forth with Davey, who helped write it, and the DEC, who suggested edits to it, we've gotten it to a point where it can be finalized, and we're looking forward to adopt it today for the village. At that point, we'll go ahead and submit it to the DEC and New York State Grants Gateway, so that we can have it in their system as well when we apply for future grants involving the forestry management plan and the trees throughout the village. So,
Thank you.
yep.
And then we also have approved the solar lease, which is for an additional 13 acres of the reclamation landfill dump at Broadway between Twin Village Salvage and the basically the ice cream shop. So they'll have a total of 15 plus 13, total of 28 acres for their solar field. We've we'll leave it at that. That's the agenda items. If anybody has any comments or questions on those agenda items, we can start with that. How are you, Paul?
Hey, Paul. How are you? Paul Sprotter, 58 Argus Drive. Question on the Morano Drive culvert. Does that mean Morano Drive is going to be closed, or will it be partially closed? Because that's right near Columbia is where they're going to fix that, right?
I do not know.
I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be closed for.
Going to be
certain
closed
amount
because
of
that's a
time.
long street.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be closed. It's not very big to do.
yeah,
I'm gonna, I wouldn't think the whole time, but I'm sure there's gonna be days where it's gonna be closed.
yeah. Just it being a long street and a lot of people living there, I'm just wondering what their access point will be.
We'll ask our village engineer. He was here earlier today.
Yeah.
And Dave should be able to tell us tomorrow.
Okay. And getting to the solar lease, is there an anticipated startup for that to
We
be
have their-
operational?
We have their attorney here tonight.
Attorney's here, and he might be able to answer.
Yes, it would still have to go through a full village review, so there's gotta be site plan and special use permit approved. The existing one that's already been approved, starting construction as soon as the spring allows, they're ready to go, have all the materials, just have to wait for the spring. This one is the second phase of that, I would imagine probably the spring after final approval, but we still have to go through the plans process.
So you're representing the solar,
It's
and where are they based?
Depew,
Based in Depew?
Taylor Drive.
And that's their
Well,
only,
it's Depew mailing address, so I'm not sure if it's,
They're on Taylor Drive.
it's Taylor Drive.
okay. All right, thank you, that's all I got.
Anyone else? Okay. All right, let's start with item number 1. Authorize the mayor to sign the Morano Drive engineering agreement.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Whereas the mayor is authorized to enter into an agreement with D. Donato for engineering services in connection with the Morano Drive culvert project. Whereas the Morano Drive culvert replacement project is being funded 100% through the Bridge New York program. Whereas on September 16th, 2022, the village solicited expression of interest from pre-qualified consulting engineering firms listed on the New York State DOT Region 5 LDSA list. Whereas on October 5th, 2022, the village received a total of 7 responses to the September 16th, 2022 request, and subsequently, based upon a detailed review of qualifications from the consultants that submitted and, therefore resolved to enter into agreement with D. Donato Engineering and Architectural Professionals to provide design, bidding, and construction phase services for the Morano Drive culvert replacement project.
I second the motion.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Lidoff,
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba,
Yes.
Trustee Kasevich,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hammerman,
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That's carried.
Resolution number 2, adopt local law number 3 of 2022, senior tax exemption.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Depew, New York held a public hearing discussing the enacting of local law number 3, senior tax exemption for the Village of Depew, Town of Lancaster, and Village of Depew, Town of Cheektowaga. Whereas all persons were given an opportunity to speak for or against this local law. Now therefore be it resolved, this local law is hereby adopted. If adopted, the proposed local law shall read as follows. Village of Depew Local Law, Senior Citizens. 209-25, Limitations on Exemption. No exemption shall be granted, A, if the income of the owner or the combined income of the owners of the property exceed the sum of $21,900 for the income tax year immediately preceding the date of making application for exemption. 1, percentage of exemption to be calculated as provided.
Yeah, there's a scriber's error. That should be
29.
29,000. It's noted as a Scribner's error.
I'll reread it. If the income of the owner or the combined income of the owners of the property exceed the sum of $29,000 for the income tax year immediately preceding the date of making application for exemption. 1. Percentage of exemption to be calculated as provided in the following schedule. Up to 29,000, percentage 50. Over 29,000 but less than 30,000, percentage 45. Over 30,000 but less than 31,000, percentage 40. Over 31,000 but less than 32,000, 35%. Over 32,000 but less than 32,900, 30%. Over 32,900 but less than 33,800, 25%. Over 33,800 but less than 34,700, 20%. Over 34,700 but less than 35,600, 15%. Over 35,600 but less than 36,500, 10%. Over 36,500 but less than 37,399, 5%.
And I just, the Scribner's error, it should be that top number, not the bottom number of 29,000. So it should be 37,399.
Right.
And then there's an Exhibit A and Exhibit B that shouldn't be there. Those were just, I think, attached to a prior form we sent, so that's another Scribner's error. Scribner's error evening. Sorry,
Scribner's?
everyone.
Is that what they call it, Scribner's?
Should I read item 2 then?
You can absolutely read
Yes.
item 2.
Item 2.
Sorry.
Income tax year shall mean the 12-month period for which the owner or owners filed a federal personal tax income tax return, or if no such return was filed, the calendar year. Where title is vested in either the husband or wife, their combined income may not exceed such sum. Such income shall include Social Security and retirement benefits, interest dividends, total gain from sale or exchange of capital asset, which may be offset by a loss from the sale or exchange of capital asset in the same income tax year. Net rental income, salary or earnings, and net income from self-employment, but shall not include a return of capital, gifts, or inheritances. In computing the net rental income and net self-employment income, no depreciation deduction shall be allowed for the exhaustion, wear and tear of real or personal property held for the production of income. For the purpose of this article, income shall not include veterans' disability compensation as defined in Title 38 of the United States Code.
I'll second that motion.
Need a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adolph.
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba.
Yes.
Trustee Kasevich.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hammernick.
Yes.
No Exhibit A.
Mayor Peters.
Yes.
That's carried.
I'll just note it, unfortunately. There's no Exhibit A or B on the next one. That's another Scribner's error. It must have just been attached. But otherwise, this one's good.
Okay, so who's doing that one?
Me.
Audrey? Okay. So next up is adopt local law number 4, 2022, disability tax exemption.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Depew, New York held a public hearing, discussed the enacting of local law number 4, disability tax exemption for the Village of Depew, Town of Lancaster, and Village of Depew, Town of Cheektowaga. Whereas all persons were given an opportunity to speak for or against this local law. Now therefore be it resolved, this local law is hereby adopted. If adopted, the proposed local law shall read as follows. 209-31, grant of exemption. Pursuant to 459-C of the Real Property Tax Law, residential real property located in the Village of Depew and occupied by one or more persons with disabilities whose income fall into the categories listed below shall be exempt from village taxes to the extent listed below. Annual income up to $29,000, 50%. Over $29,000 but less than $30,000, 45%. Over $30,000 but less than $31,000, 40%. Over $31,000 but less than $32,000, 35%. Over $32,000 but less than $32,900, 30%. Over $32,900 but less than $33,800, 25%. Over 33.8 but less than 34.7, 20%. Over 34.7 but less than 35.6, 15%. Over 35.6 but less than 36.5, 10%. Over 36.5 but less than 37.399, 5%.
I second the motion.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba?
Yes.
Trustee Kasevich?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hammernick?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
Just want to note on the record, another Scribner's error on this one. There's no exhibits, Exhibit A and Exhibit B. Just a graphical error that those were attached. Otherwise, we're good.
Thank you. Resolution number 4, permission for the Depew Fire Department.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution, move for its adoption. Permission is hereby granted to the Depew Fire Department's Hook and Ladder Company Number 1 to use the Southside Fire Station for their Christmas party on Saturday, January 14th, 2023, from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. And permission is hereby granted to the Depew Fire Department's West End to use the West End Fire Station for their Christmas party on Saturday, December 17th, 2022, from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. And permission is hereby granted to the West End Host Number 6 to use engine number 6 for their Santa detail on Saturday, December 11th, 2022. A small portion of the route goes outside the village.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 5, permission for membership in Depew Fire Department.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, membership is hereby granted to the following in the Depew Fire Department pending the passing of his physical. Aetna Hose Company, Dave Williams.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Number 6, permission for membership in the Depew Fire Department, the Junior Firefighter Program.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, membership is hereby granted to the following in the Depew Fire Department Junior Firefighter Program pending the passing of their physicals. Junior Firefighter, Cody Williams, Sadie Burr.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 7, accept the forestry management plan.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, the Village Board will adopt the final Community Forestry Management Plan, CFMP, completed by Davie Resource Group as the Village of Depew's official tree maintenance plan. This will help the village's growth in a positive way as a Tree City USA and make sure our urban forestry is maintained for the community.
I second the motion.
A roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba?
Yes.
Trustee Kasevich?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hammernick?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
I'd just like to take a minute and thank the board for their support on that. A lot of work's gone into it through many organizations, and a shout out to the DEC as our reps Nate as well as Michelle Higgins. So thank you.
And to former trustee
Yes,
Erica Stepniak, who started the program,
definitely.
and it's a couple years in its making.
Thank you, Adolph, for
Yeah.
all your hard work on that.
Appreciate it.
Resolution 8, approve the solar lease.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Whereas NED New Energy Solar 5 LLC, a related entity to the National Energy Development LLC with an address at 166 Taylor Drive, Depew, New York, has proposed to lease 12.5 plus or minus acres of land at the Old Land Reclamation Landfill, VL Broadway, SBL number 103.19-1-13.1 project site for purpose of a solar energy development for 25 years with options for extension thereof for $15,000 per year with a 2% annual increase. And whereas the village will also receive a substantial benefit as NED New Energy Solar 5 LLC will also, at its sole cost, prepare the project site in a manner that brings the project site into compliance with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation standards set for the solar energy project on a closed landfill. And whereas the proposed lease also provides the village access to land it owns outside the project site near Cayuga Creek. And whereas the project, including the lease, is a Type 2 action pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act seeker, pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.5 C14I, which states the following actions are not subject to review under this part: installation of solar energy arrays, where such installation involves 25 acres or less of physical alterations of the following sites: closed landfills, and pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617A Type 2, actions are not subject to review under this part, and these actions have been determined not to have a significant impact on the environment or are otherwise precluded from environmental review under Environmental Conservation Law, Article 8. And whereas the lease is contingent upon the granting of all village approvals, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation authorization of the change of end use of a closed landfill, and any and all other applicable approvals or permits from government entities. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of Depew, New York, hereby resolves as follows. 1. The Broadway Solar Project 2 is hereby classified as a Type 2 action pursuant to seeker, and therefore no further environmental review is required. And 2, the mayor is authorized to execute the lease and all other documents required for effectuation of the lease.
I second the motion.
Okay, we need a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Ziamba?
Yes.
Trustee Adolph?
Yes.
Trustee Kasevich?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hammernick?
No.
Okay, and before I give my vote, this will disprove the notion that the board is feckless and everybody makes up their own decision. When the DEC came to the village in October of 2019 and took us on a tour down to Cayuga Creek at the edge of this solar, what is now going to be a solar farm, but was a reclamation land dump. And they said that we needed to remediate the leakage into the water and recap the entire 35 acres if there was going to be anything done on it, right?
Not only that, it was this is a problem. There is garbage, non-toxic garbage, but garbage getting into the creek. People are calling Albany and complaining. They've made it our problem, and we're making it your problem, and you need to fix it fast. So we were looking at a significant environmental remediation bill without any resource, without any state aid, without any super fund available, because it's not toxic enough to be a super fund. And that was where the solar project idea came into play with a Depew company, and the idea that we could split this in 2 parcels, sell the top parcel, and because they didn't want the solar company didn't want the environmental liability associated with the creek front, which makes sense. So with the money from the sale of the top parcel, we started remediating, and then our friends at NED Solar came over and said we want to lease the lower parcel. So this is the last phase in this long effort to get the environmental remediation done and to get a solar project up and running in Depew. And the best part about this lease is they're agreeing to provide a significant amount of fill that the DEC requires us to put in there on the creek bed. So that's the last piece of our environmental financial obligation, and we're not going to have to pay for it. So I think it's turning a very bad situation into a positive.
So the original thought was that we'd be able to pay for the remediation from the sale of the property. Initially, the value of remediation was less than $200,000. We received approximately $170,000 for the first 15 acres. The cost, like everything during COVID, escalated to where we spent about $313,000. So again, based upon my original premise of even looking at selling the property and trying to pay for it from funds received from the sale, so that the taxpayer doesn't receive another bill like we're dealing with the DEC consent order, I had hoped that we would have taken the lump sum, but the board is voted 3, and I'll make it nay, so it'd be 3-2, but we'll still approve the lease. So it'll be over a 25-year period of time, and if, for those who are here, 25 years from now, the village will have received over $461,000 as opposed to $135,000, which was the offer for a lump sum payment. So yes, over 25 years, there's an awful lot of additional funds coming to the village. However, initially, we will have to pay the difference between the $313,000 to remediate and what we've taken in. But that will probably come out of our general fund or out of our fund balance. So that's a 3-2, and it's approved. And Pete, yeah, please come up.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for the past couple of years. Mayor, we've met several times, and I've talked to Sam quite a bit, and texts and different calls. But the first project, the remediation alone, and remember we bought the village's property and Depew Brothers, so on both.
Correct.
Was about $1 million. Is what it cost to bring in all that fill. And just like what you're saying, the cost went over, and the compaction rate we weren't sure about, so we had to keep bringing in more fill and more fill. On the second part here, we're estimating, the estimate right now is $515,000. So
Yeah.
it's an awful.
You have saved the village a ton of money, yes.
Oh no, it's a mutual thing. But yeah, I think that there's been a real benefit environmentally as well as for cost savings, and that will continue with this one as well.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing it in operation.
They're going to get the permit as soon as the weather breaks this spring.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Sorgi.
you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, so now we're going to go to our guest. Oh, I'm sorry, we got department head reports, there were none. Employment applications, there were none. Unfinished and other business, there were none. And we're going to go to Bob Brandon, because Bob, you've missed the last couple meetings. So glad to hear that your wife is doing better. And welcome back.
I did listen in on the YouTube, and thank you for your thoughts and prayers for my wife. She is doing well. She had open heart surgery, and she's in rehab right now.
Good.
Back to work part-time, going to some meetings, so thank you again.
Yep.
Well, it's the holiday season right now, so the senator and some of our staff have been very busy with food distribution. On November 22nd, the senator and some of our office staff were at the Resurrection Life Food Pantry in Cheektowaga for a food giveaway. Spectrum was there also, and they provided a food pantry with $7,500 for whatever they needed for the season. They did this last year too, and they did this again. Afterwards, the senator talked about our relationship with the food pantry. We had many events with them, and also talked about what they were doing, and they're doing a great job there. Afterwards, the senator spent, I'd say, an hour and a half to 2 hours just helping distribute food to families who were there. So it was a great event, and the senator was there to help out. On November 14th, the senator, and again some of our office staff, helped distribute 400 turkeys in Lackawanna in coordination with Access New York. Access New York is an Arab American organization that provides services to all residents of Lackawanna. To those families that could not come to the distribution site, turkeys were delivered to their homes. So this is the second year we participated in this, and I did some of the delivery of the turkeys to the various homes too, so we're glad to help out. In December, the senator and our office worked to provide and distribute 700 hams for the Christmas season. And it'll be held at the fire hall in the Lovejoy Bailey Fillmore Avenue. And it'll be distributed to families in that area. Rich Milikowski and Brian Bowman, who are councilman there, will also be there too. So we're going to provide 700 hams for the families in that area. The Western New York Polish American Congress asked Senator Kennedy to help restore the name of Dr. Matt Gajewski on the Healthcare Center building at 1500 Broadway Avenue in Buffalo. Dr. Gajewski had a distinguished career in the military. He was involved in veteran affairs and various community organizations. He was president of the Buffalo Board of Education and he had a medical practice in the Polish community. Dr. Gajewski died in 1995, and to honor him, the building was named the Matt Gajewski Healthcare Center. In 2014, Erie County renovated the building and reopened it as the Erie County Medical Mall. The Polish American Congress and the Polish community want Dr. Gajewski's name restored to the building. It appears from our informal conversations with Erie County that they may be willing to place a plaque on the building honoring Dr. Gajewski. Legislator Frank Todaro and Howard Johnson were also involved in this too. So it's an effort by several different people to do this. On November 9th, Senator held a press conference to announce that he secured state funding for a new inclusive playground at PS 84 Healthcare Center for Children at ECMC. The school leaders reached out to the senator with concerns over the existing playground and its lack of accessibility for a large part of the school's student population. Public School 84 is dedicated to children with multiple disabilities who require many assistive devices, including wheelchairs, power wheelchairs, walkers, and crutches. Now, similar to a playground you have, it'll be inclusive for children who are attending School 84, which is a school primarily for children with physical disabilities. So that's about it. So again, if anybody needs any help, any problems, please call our office and we'll be glad to help.
Very good. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Elizabeth, from Assemblymember Monica Wallace's office.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you
Good
so much
evening.
as always. For those of you who are new tonight, my name is Elizabeth Brinkworth. I'm Chief of Staff for New York State Assemblymember Monica Wallace's office. First off, Assemblymember Wallace and the team would like to thank our friends in the DPW department for all the hard work with the storm and keeping our first responders safe and those who had medical emergencies. So they made sure to make sure the roads were plowed, cleared, and thank you to everyone who followed the travel bans and making sure everyone was safe. And so thank you so much. We know it's a lot of work. We saw what you guys were doing, so thank you so much. Your work has not gone unnoticed. I hope everyone had a wonderful, happy, healthy Thanksgiving. Go Bills. As we all know, Small Business Saturday was this past Saturday. However, Assemblymember Wallace has made an effort to make sure that we also continue to shop and support small businesses throughout the holiday season. I know one popular program, because there's way too many small businesses to list here in the amount of time I'm provided. So we suggest that everyone take a look at the 716 gift card program, as the Amherst the Amherst Chamber of Commerce has supported in the past, because numerous businesses, I think when I last checked this afternoon, it was almost 900 small businesses participate in the gift card program. So in case you don't know what to get someone, I know that's a go-to in my family and everyone appreciates it. So we really hope everyone continues that effort, and thank you so much for those of you who have done your Christmas shopping and supported small businesses. Last night I attended the Village of Depew's tree lighting ceremony, and thank you so much for the Erie County Sheriff Department for flying Santa in safely. It was quite a success. So thank you all for your efforts in that. On November 23rd, we were happy to hear that Governor Hochul had signed into law Assemblymember Monica Wallace's ADA compliance bill, Assembly Bill 744, which requires certain health clubs to have a automated external defibrillator on the premises, which is accessible to staff, employees, and guests for the safety of those who, in case anyone has a cardiac incident. In terms of co-sponsorships, we also heard that Governor Hochul signed into law a bill carried by Assemblymember Anna Kells. Assembly Bill 7389C that Assemblymember Wallace co-sponsored. This bill establishes a moratorium on crypto mining operations that use proof of worth authentication methods to validate blockchains. Essentially, the assembly member had commented on this and said, we do not want to stifle new industries with this type of crypto mining, however, requires a massive amount of energy. Studies have shown productions of just one type of crypto coin uses more electricity than every TV set in the United States combined. This is shown to worsen climate changes and cause more severe weather events like the storm we just dug ourselves out of not too long ago. This pause, though temporary, gives us time to study the industry and assess whether it can be done in a way that does not cause severe climate change and damage to our environment and climate. So that said, we're keeping tabs on other bills that are coming towards the end of the year in this session. So we're prepping for a very eventful 2023. Hard to believe that's around the corner. So for those of you who are celebrating various holidays, we wish you a very happy holiday season. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Liz. All right, we'll start down at the table. Lieutenant Menard, in case you have to go.
Okay. So this past weekend, our police department teamed up with Depew Hose Company number 1, and with the assistance of the Depew High School First Responders Club, we had our Fishing for Cops theme in the Christmasville parade. It was well received by everyone in attendance. Our Facebook page has blown up with over 500 likes and all positive comments on the theme, so it seemed to hit off quite well, and we had a good time. So thank you to Depew Hose Company Engine 1 for letting us partner up with you guys, because we had a blast doing it. We have one recruit that is currently in the academy. He is expected to graduate December 16th, and then he will be out on the road beginning his field training. Our administration has been busy canvassing possible candidates off the current civil service list and holding interviews. And we hope to have some new officers that will start the academy January 16th of 2023. And as a reminder to all the residents to make sure you're doing that 9 p.m. check, locking your vehicles. We've seen an increase in vehicles being entered overnight in various streets throughout the village, and they're being entered because the vehicles were left unlocked. So we want to remind everybody to lock the vehicles, and with the cold weather, also not to have your vehicles running in the driveway, on the street, and any businesses unattended. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Chief Gauthier, Fire Department.
All right. The recent storm, the fire department was on standby for most of that, so we had a better response time to any emergencies that came in. Thank God we didn't have many calls, and the ones we did were not that significant. Yes, thanks to DPW for keeping the roads better than anywhere in the general area throughout that storm. So awesome job by DPW for doing that. Yes, this past Saturday we had a few trucks in the Christmasville parade. Our Central Hose had their antique truck out there with a Disney theme. And they actually won first prize overall for all fire companies in the Lancaster Fire Museum group. So congratulations to them. And yes, congratulations to Hose Company 1 and PD. They took 2 of the 3 chairman awards for the theme that they had. That was police's idea. So.
So, I think it was our first responders club, our idea, so it was a high school student.
So, but yeah, awesome job by all the kids from the first responders club, by PD and by the fire department. It was really a good fun time. I'd like to thank Trustee Hammernick for working with School Resource Officer Hosfeld on creating a Clear the Hydrant program with the First Responder Club at the school. So the kids will be out for community service hours clearing hydrants. So thanks to Trustee Hamrick for coming up with that idea and getting that going. We do appreciate it. Any students out here, that want to get involved in the First Responder Club, talk to your counselors at the school, talk to your school resource officer. They can get you involved with doing that. Also, any students out there, 14 years of age or older, we do have a junior firefighter program, so it's pretty active. Good group of young adults participating and learning the ropes as a fireman. Also, we're always recruiting anybody over the age of 18. So if you're ever interested, see our website, and or stop by any station. There's usually people there any Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Lastly, last night's Christmas tree lighting ceremony. It's one of my favorite things to do in the village. Awesome job by everybody that worked with that. And 50 years old watching Santa come down. I had fun. That was awesome. So thanks for all that. We currently have.
You add the one that just came in?
What's that?
Bless you.
Did you add the one that just came in
Uh,
a little bit ago?
what's that?
I had one that just came in, another call. Did you
Oh,
count
yeah,
that one?
check. But we currently have 26 calls for the month of November, 312 calls year to date.
All set?
So that's it. Thank you.
Perfect. DPW, Ken Pick.
I'd also like to thank all the departments for working together during that storm. Everything went good. Emergency management did a great job setting up food for our guys when they really needed it. All our employees, thank them, they did a great job. Just a shout out to everybody that did a good job. A reminder for the residents to keep their sidewalks clear and try to keep their plow drivers from pushing snow, even the business owners on the main drags, onto the sidewalk so that we can keep them clear where we need to. During the storm, we had a sewer collapse that we had to take care of immediately after the storm. And that's about all I have.
Recreation Director.
I just want to thank everybody that attended last night and everybody else that helped out. I thought it was a really nice event. I mean, there was a lot of people there. Kids had a good time. I think the adults had a nice time. Tree lit. We didn't have to worry about that. So he says to me about 2 minutes before the tree's going to light, he looks at me like this, he goes, "So is it going to light?" I'm like, so it did end up light. But again, it was a very nice event. Thank you very much. And during the storm, I want to thank Kenny and those guys for helping out by the rink, because we were the only rink that was open on that Sunday. Everybody else, Holiday was closed, Leisure was closed. We were able to get 50 kids in there for an open skate and 3 hockey practices. So it was pretty well done. So thank you very much.
All right. Don over in our building department.
I just want to say, attending the Christmas tree lighting and stuff yesterday, how impressed I really am.
You don't do that in Evans?
No. They have something along those lines, but it's been a while since I've been there.
Yeah.
And my kids are at that stage with, high school, college, and that's, you kind of miss out. Now I got my grandson, and lo and behold, we were there, and it was enjoyable.
Good.
I am very impressed how everyone in this village works together. You guys do a wonderful job. Thank you very much. All right. Now, our building department, hooray. Kate is actually attending classes right now to get her next certification out of the way, which is wonderful. We've had an uptick in permits coming in, some larger projects. Obviously, the car wash has submitted all their plans. Catalytion Center is in the process of submitting their plans for some remodeling. I guess one thing, this snowfall, this event that we had is kind of unprecedented. Heaviest snow I've seen in a long time. We have not had a lot of damage or collapses, which is wonderful for us. But the sidewalks. I'm getting a slew of phone calls about people wanting the sidewalks cleared. And I've explained to each of them, this is a daunting task because of the weight and the amount of snow. A lot of it has melted, but they want me to go out and cite everyone. And I've explained that there's not enough of us. If I had 5 inspectors like me to go out and cite everyone that's not doing it. I'm going to ask residents to please try to get your sidewalks cleared. We have kids going back to school this week. We have people traverse these sidewalks all the time. They walk their dogs, they walk to work. So if you could please clear your sidewalks. At some point, we're not going to have a choice but to start sending violations and ticketing people for this. So, any questions for me?
How many?
Hidden Shamrock.
Okay.
All right, they have applied for a variance for, I want to put a 6-unit apartment in. And as per our last discussion, I have reached out to Joe Keefe. He did some preliminary work about that area between those 2 parcels, and he recommended that I speak to W. Shutt and Associates, which I did. I reached out, and I spoke with Dean Regan. He got back to me today, and he is in the process of looking. He believes that when that parcel was split, that last, what is that, Wellington there? The road that pops into Gould, that 45's there?
Westfield.
Westfield. He believes that when they split that property was split and an extra portion of right-of-way may have been taken by the state or by the village. He's in the process of looking for it. If it does belong to us, he will do everything he can to provide us an SPL or a way forward so that we could possibly lease or sell that off to get that Hidden Shamrock for once and for all up and running with the park.
Okay.
Great.
Awesome.
Anything on our violation notice
For,
the Main Street property?
well, we sent it out every way possible.
Okay, good.
Sent it out certified, sent it out mailed with return address, without return address, and posted it on the property. So there's no way they could say that we did not serve them the paperwork properly. After the return dates,
Did the certified card come back yet?
not that
Bless
I'm
you.
aware of. But I do have the receipt and everything.
Okay.
It's all in the file. If they don't sign for it, nothing we can do about it. It's
No, yeah, as
served
long
every
as-
way that we could possibly serve them. So once the 30 days are expired, then we'll move forward with the rest of the process.
Good.
Great.
Trustee Zumba?
Uh, A quick reminder for everyone to attend our e-waste drive, electronic waste devices, this Saturday here at Village Hall, 9 to 2. It was in the Depew B this past week, twice, all the details, so I hope to see everyone there. That's it.
Deputy Mayor Hamnick?
Well, I have 3 items. First of all, you want to say today, our bowling alley came down at the Dompolsky Building. So we're very excited about that. We're moving forward. Second of all, I wanted to say a little bit about the rollout for Be a Community Hero and Adopt a Fire Hydrant. With the help of the village, the fire department, and Depew High School, the junior and senior students, it is involving the First Responders Club, but also the Academy of Finance and any other student in the school that would like to participate in shoveling out our hydrants for community service hours. Kiwanis Club, along with Manny's Ace Hardware, we bought 30 shovels, the cost of $900, and each student will have their own shovel to dig out the hydrants. So we're looking forward to helping our fire department with the 430 hydrants that are there. Also, today, it will be in the Depew Bee this week, along with the Village of Lancaster and the Village of Depew. On November 22nd, I also went down and helped out distribute food for the Western New York Heroes. Come to find out that there were 200 cars there, and there were 80 families that received no turkeys this year. They just never got their shipment in, so they had no Thanksgiving. So, with reaching out to both village mayors and putting the 2 communities together, we are going to feed those 80 families for Christmas with a ham dinner. So it's going to be from all the organizations in the village, both villages, Cindy Maciejewski from Lancaster, Mayor Lynn Ruda, Mayor Peterson, and I are working together to provide meals for all of them. We're asking that the residents or anyone that would like to, we're asking as a $10 or a $20 gift card from Tops that we can purchase all the food to take care of the 80 families. These are 80 families that don't have anything. You know, they're desperate or they're very needy. So there are veterans, and when I was working down there, and there were a lot of them from Lancaster and Depew. So it's not just downtown, it's all of Western New York. It's a very nice program. So we're hoping that people join us and that we can take care and feed all these families. Thank you. We will have a drop box, I'm sorry, right here at the Village Hall for the gift cards. And also if someone wants to bring non-perishable foods like vegetables, instant box potatoes, and like a brownie mix or something like a dessert mix. That's it, you know, so we'll make the meals. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Adolph?
Not much for me tonight, just thank you again for adopting the forestry management plan as well as the DEC for their work and Davey for their work on it. Fantastic event with Santa last night, so good things happening in the village, so we just got to keep our eyes peeled for the residents, and there's always good things happening.
Trustee Kasevich?
I just want to say thank you to all the people, all the departments that made the tree lighting ceremony happen yesterday. It was beautiful. I also want to congratulate Santa, and I hope he enjoys his retirement. I know he will miss it. And lastly, I just want to thank DPW, everybody that worked during the snowstorm. You guys did an amazing job, so thank you.
Attorney Alba?
Oh, I get to go after the trustees.
Yes, you do.
Mixing
Mixing it up.
How exciting. I went to the tree lighting last night with 3 of my 4 kids, and it was my first one. And despite 4 years working in the village, I'd never been. We had a fantastic time. No one was expecting Santa to come in a helicopter, so that blew their little minds. And, it was great, really. Everyone did a great job.
Who'd you have there, Isaac?
Isaac, Emmy, and Rowan.
Oh.
Isaac immediately went down a slide into a puddle, and
Those are your 2 hockey players, right?
Isaac has retired.
He
Rowan's
has?
still a hockey
Oh.
player.
Who scored a goal?
Rowan may have scored a goal
May.
at one point in practice. No, everything went great. On the business side, so glad to see the solar lease pass. I understand why 2 of our trustees voted no. Good reasons, good concerns, but I think overall the entire board is happy to see this landfill that was leaking into the creek become renewable energy. It's a great project for the village, and it's taken years to get done. I'm very happy to see it come to fruition finally. As far as cases, these tax cert cases, we've got about 10 are chugging along. 1 settled with entirely prospective relief, so no refund. The tax benefit starts next year, which is what we like to see. I have a laundry list of things to do, and if I ever forget to do things, please feel free to email Andrew with the CGI contract. You can remind me, it won't hurt my feelings.
All right.
I need a reminder once in a while, and I'll remind all of you, send me your contracts before you sign them. Sorry. Every week. Thank you.
Okay. All right, I think I got everything. Terry, you got anything you want to add?
No, I'm good tonight.
All right.
Regina?
Yes. What do you got?
We have a
Question?
A question from our YouTube. A resident, Bobby Banks, he has a question to our 2 board members who approved the lump sum overtaking the 15 for the 25 years and 2% compounded a year, which is $120K difference from the lump sum, their justification.
What's that again? Why I voted no?
The 2 board members who voted no for the lump sum or for the 25 years over the lump sum.
I thought I explained that, but it was the original project out there that the DEC presented to us. I did not want the taxpayer of the village of Depew to have to pay for that remediation. And the sale and the lease of the property, if we had taken the lump sum and $170,000 that we had already received for the sale of the 15 acres, we'd be darn close to the $300,000 that the cost of the remediation cost. Very true, Peter, this is Georgie, and echoed by our attorney, is that the amount of money that the solar company put in to do the remediation on the upper portion of that with the 2 foot of clay, 2 foot of soil that's on top of that, it was very expensive. And luckily, the village didn't have to take care of that as well. But, so we'll have to pull whatever we owe on the cost of the remediation to this point out of the general fund. Whereas if we had took a lump sum, that wouldn't have been the case. Granted, over 25 years, it's $461,000 versus $135,000. And you don't need to be a mathematician to know that that's more money. But what is that worth in 25 years? I'm not sure. My Ram 1500 cost 25 years ago, $18,700. 7 years ago, it cost $49,000. So, and you know what the cost of the trucks are. They're well over that now. So you just really don't know. I'm hoping it works out. I'm very much in favor of the project. That has nothing to do with my feelings on the project. We turned a vacant, desolate piece of property into a solar farm next year. So, I mean, that's all good stuff. I don't know if you have your reasons.
Well, I feel the same way. It has nothing to do with the project. I'm all for the project. However, it was the shortcomings of the difference between the $313,000 and the $170,000 that we have to pay. We have to pay now because now it is stretched out over 25 years. Didn't want to do it against the new residents, so that it could be up to $135,000 now has to come out of the general fund. True, over 25 years we would get $400-some thousand. But I also think, how do we know? It is a risk. Do we take the money up front, or do we wait the 25 years? What happens if down the road with future technology, solar farms are not sufficient anymore? So it's a risk.
I think Audrey and myself, since we were on the previous administration's board, when the village got into a deal with Blue Wireless
Cell towers.
Cell phones and such, and Upstate Towers, Blue Wireless went out of business after a year and a half or so. So they set the village up with tablets for the fire department and cell phones for PD and other members in village. But we got a notice on our phones, 90 days from today, your service will be terminated. So they went out of business, so we had to go back to Verizon. There are no guarantees, so.
We are getting $600 a month pursuant
Yes.
to the lease for the absence of the cell phones.
That's nothing to do with the cell phone. That's the cell tower. That's for the tower itself.
The election, we get nothing for the tower. We get $200 a month for them not providing the cell phones they were supposed to per lease. That's how it reads. So, we get lots of money if there's cell carriers on the tower.
Yeah, that's true. That's something else we were told we were gonna get.
Now that we pinned down this solar project, I'll forward that again.
Okay. All right. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yes, we're not against the solar project.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
You know what I mean?
Dave Burke.
I'm still a little confused as far as the solar farm goes. If we don't sell the land, the DECs, we have to do remedial for the whole property. And the solar farm, they bought part of it, so they have to do that part, and we just have to.
And we did the other part up by the creek.
Okay,
Yep.
so that.
It's all done.
Okay, so we are saving money because we don't have to do the whole thing then, right?
Yeah, a couple different remediations. So we had to kind of dig out and pin down the eroding creek bed there to make sure trash wasn't getting into the creek, which is more unsightly than harmful, but still an environmental issue to be addressed. They had to add fill so they could put their solar panels there, which was an unexpected cost for them of up to $1 million. And now the DEC, for whatever reason, wants fill on the creek bed as well, in addition to what we've pulled out and pinned down. So,
How come they wouldn't let them just put the solar panels right down on the property without being fix stuff.
Stuff was well, go ahead.
Yeah, I think there was concern about erosion and further,
It was done in 1980.
yeah, pushing the
when
weight
they
down the
first
creek.
put that on there.
Okay.
And according to the DEC, when we went, there was supposed to be no growth on it ever, even the little trees that used to be out there. And I think they found when they did studies and did test bores that 2 feet of cap on that was not 2 feet anymore. So they had to restore it back to the 2 feet. That was their
Okay.
part. We may, as a village, if we had not done anything, would have just been responsible for the creek? That's
Yeah, we
more
would have
than
been
likely.
responsible for the creek bed and
And we would
stabilized.
never have had to deal with the upper portion of it,
Oh, so,
because we weren't going to do anything with it.
right,
Since they were going to develop it with a solar farm,
right.
they needed to take that next step, which they may or may not have, known exactly what the cost was going to be. I
Right.
think they got a lot of the fill from the airport area, which was free, but the trucking,
Oh, yeah,
they had 1,000 truckloads that come over there.
Okay, I have one more question. The police officer that we're gonna get that's in December when they graduate from the academy, is it to replace the retired police, or are we adding police to the force?
It's to add an officer to our
down a
roster
couple.
to replace retirees.
Okay, now is it, you're replacing officers with the new recruits also?
We're trying to, but our levels are lower than what they should be right now. I don't have the exact number, but we are down several officers.
I mean, unless I missed the meeting, usually if a police officer retires, isn't it in the minutes, or do I hear that wrong? They just kind
Depends
of,
upon how they got retired. There's one that was medically retired recently, and no, he hasn't been, I don't know that he's been in Village Hall in quite some time.
yeah, I didn't know we were short of officers.
We're not at a level we were even just a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a couple leave, a couple retired, and then one has been medically retired.
Fine with me. You were please going.
Anything else? Paul? Nothing? All right. Regina, anybody else? Okay. Let's rock and roll then. Claims and accounts, please.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, the claims and accounts have been audited by the Finance Committee and are approved for payment as follows.
In the general fund, $221,393.70. Community Development Fund, $240,195.80. In the sewer fund, $146 even.
I second the motion.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And finally, number 14 is adjournment.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting at 8:20, keeping in our thoughts Barbara Walters, who's ill. She's the wife of firefighter Paul Walters, and also Matt Biecki. He's the head mechanic at our DPW. His uncle passed away recently.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.